Hi, everybody. It's Linda G, and I'm here with our man about town, Uncle
Hi, Linda.
Auntie Mel,
Yay. Hi, Linda.
and he's going to Europe again, you guys. I have no idea how this man does it.
I'm
None
leaving on
whatsoever.
I'm leaving on Wednesday. I'll be gone from the 17th until I'll be back on the 25th. I'm going to, I think, Bratislava to teach a seminar. Um, the same thing we taught in Chicago. I have translators, so that's good.
Oh, thank
Um,
God.
they've asked me to do it every 3 or 4 months, and I said, why not? Hey, I get a trip, I get to, Slovakia is a beautiful country, so is the
Yeah,
Czech Republic. And
right.
so, I get to see new things, and and I get to meet new people, and that's exciting.
Yeah, just don't get COVID.
No, I'm going to wear a mask on the plane. Thank you.
Oh, definitely. Never again will I make that mistake. I'm leaving to see my niece at the end of this month. Well, actually, beginning of next month for her little baby shower, and I'll be sure to wear a mask.
Yeah, I'm going to wear a mask.
So Mel and I were just now in I would consider myself heated conversation about them pulling FEMA crew out in North Carolina because of apparently the National Guard saw armed militia, which surprises me because if they did, why wouldn't they put them all under arrest? Because they told them they were looking for FEMA workers.
What happened was, according to what I read, is that there was an email that was intercepted saying that our militia in one little area, one little county, was going to go after FEMA workers. And so to be safe, they just pulled them out of that area. And um, when Linda, you and I were talking, I said to Linda, we both said almost simultaneously, yeah, we know Trump is behind this.
He's behind
So,
that.
so this armed militia, I guess, is based on the lies that Trump was spreading that FEMA's not doing anything and blah, blah, blah,
And they
blah, blah.
don't want them. They want them to be afraid and not do anything.
Of course, they don't want him to do anything because then Trump can say FEMA didn't do anything and do, 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 do. But you see the harm that his lies caused. It caused people who needed that help in that one small area to be delayed from getting it because of Trump's BS. And I see that under investigation, the person who wrote the email under investigation, and supposedly the members of the armed militia under the investigation for interfering with federal disaster relief. And in my opinion, it's a federal crime, and there's going to be heads are going to be rolling with those armed militias, and even within Trump's organization or with Trump because of this.
So
So,
listen, you guys, I'm going to say this, and there might be questions on this, but I want to be perfectly clear. My hit. And my guys have told me for quite a while that she'll win and she'll win by a good amount.
good.
And I just want you to know when you and I were talking, I heard my guide said, just look at her events and his events. And then look at he did that thing in Calchilla and then didn't even have the decency. What happened was they probably didn't pay the buses. They bust them in and then didn't take them home. He said it was 100,000 people. The sheriff said the most that can fit there is the most would be 10,000.
Right.
But anyway, but they left those people out in the middle of the dark in the cold
I
with no
know.
way back.
And then he's campaigning in blue states. He's not going to win blue areas like Chicago, different places. And the reason he's doing that is is because he thinks he's going to raise some doubt with the independents because the media will report on it and talk about all the BS lies and stuff.
Yeah, and they do. Let me tell you something. A lot of those people that went to Calchilla, they've changed their mind and voted for him. That's for sure.
Well,
He
what he's
still will get his people who don't care if they were freezing in the cold in the middle of the night. They'll
his
blame other people that the buses didn't get there.
in my opinion, his campaign, what he's doing, campaigning in blue cities and super blue areas, they'll never vote for Trump, to try to swing because he wants the media attention because he knows it'll filter in areas where he might get some swing voters, but I think that's going to blow up in his face. I don't see that.
I just want to tell you, and I could be wrong because it's me talking to you from my guides. And if you remember, my guides are the ones that said Kamala would be the first female president of the United States. My guides are the ones that told us that this virus was coming a year before it happened. So I do trust them. And I'm going to tell you, I really do feel from them, it's going to be bigger than you think. And it's not going to be, there will be outbursts. I'm not saying there won't be, but it's not people scared to death and unable to do anything because I see the shirts, the FBI, DOJ. I see armed, not necessarily our military, because we don't like to put our military on other citizens. But I see them breaking into these places where they're staying, these militias, breaking up. They're listening for the chatter and they will be in there. In fact, this week you're going to hear a lot about a lot of stuff being broke up.
That's my point.
So they will be on this, like even with the voting thing, all the bull they're trying to throw. Mark Elijah writes all the time about how they won, they win, they win, they win. And he's got a lot more to do, but they're not going to be able to pull these fast ones they think they can do. That's my opinion.
Whatever that militia is doing, they're gonna, the
Well,
federal,
I see them gathering them up.
right. But it's Homeland Security, FBI, all that's gonna bust
Yeah.
them up. And I see some of them arrested for interfering with, FEMA. That's against the
There
law.
will be an actual gun battle. I've seen that, but it's not with regular citizens. It's with the militia fighting against whoever's coming in to take them down. But I see them taking them out.
They will take them down. Absolutely. Not the I don't know if they'll send in National Guard. They might send in DEA probably. I see all those, like FBI, all the police jackets.
Well, the
Uh,
minute they harm a head on one of those agents, it's all in.
or a FEMA employee.
Yeah. The minute they hurt somebody, it's over. I
So,
don't see this Satan, believe it or not, I don't see him allowing them to do a bunch of stuff down there. I see him letting FEMA do their work.
well, he will, but in North Carolina, they're going to have to do the same thing. So there you have it.
Yeah, a lot of it was lies. Those people they were interviewing didn't even live there.
Exactly.
Okay, so Teresa says, why wasn't mainstream media? I don't know. All I know is I turned on MSNBC and the khaki pants was there with his Debbie bad news. He's not calling Trump, but he's acting like it's so close, it's not even funny. Whatever, talk to your blue in the face. Next, I turned it off. But apparently mainstream media is not reporting about the hundreds of orange supporters stranded in Coachella,
And where?
California.
Got it. Wow.
And there was no 100,000 people there.
No.
Trump said 100,000 people.
If Trump says 100,000, maybe 8,000, but not
Yeah.
100.
Oh, he's not. That's what I'm telling you guys. If you don't believe me, just look at her places and his places. Even look at walls. They're filling them up. It's that energy. And I had a client this morning who loves astrology, and we were talking about our rising in Libra, our moon in Libra. My rising's Libra too, I think. And she said, it's going to be 10 years coming up of 1920s energy, which the 20s was happiness and good times, but it also was a little bit overkill. Like people were indulging themselves pretty badly.
Well, and then the stock market crash happened, and
Right after that, yeah.
Right.
But that's not in writing as far as our future. But I will say that's kind of nice to hear that we'll have. But how could we have a break like that with people being happy if Trump is in office, gathering up illegals and
a
regular
few of them would
citizens?
be, but not the rest of us. That's for sure.
So, well, okay, you got a question?
Um,
Hurry up.
okay.
I'm on short time here.
It's funny. Got stopwatch going. Mary says, hurry up, hurry up. Mary says, Mary Z, when will laws be in place to stop grifting? Grifting means like small-time swindlers and stuff like that.
They're working on it, but they are working on getting rid of this maggot stuff right now.
What I see coming to stop the grifting are these scam phone callers. Hello, we're calling from your
Yes, they're working on
cell
that
phone
now. The problem
company.
is you got Republicans in there that are stopping it. They don't even want students to have their loans forgiven. They don't
Right.
want children to have food stamps. They don't want, you know what I'm saying? That all the stuff they're working towards is
How
ridiculous.
much you want to bet if one of them was scammed by one of those scammers from overseas, they would be livid.
Right.
So I do see legislation put in place where if you're on the do not call list, then these people from overseas can't call you. They say they're not soliciting, but we're calling from your cable company. We're calling about your car warranty. We're
Yeah.
calling from the FBI. I get that one. Don't fall for that. They wouldn't, those people, those agencies would never call you, or from Medicare or Social Security. They don't call,
Exactly.
or from the
It
IRS.
might take 3 or 4 years because Kamala is the one to deal with that. And
I
I
see
see her getting somebody like Elizabeth Warren. I see some real good stuff taking place.
I see them cracking down on those things big time in other countries,
Right,
big time, and working in conjunction with the United States.
right.
And they're going to put an end to those huge scamming rings.
Give me 1 second. Sorry, you guys, I had to take a little break. My Sonoma junk is here. They pick up all my junk in my garage, including my ex-husband's. Okay. Oh, this is a good question from Lucky. Will there ever be standards put in place for people who want to run for president, such as age, mental health, no felonies?
The answer to that is yes.
Did you see who's that actor? He was in that weather movie. Dennis Quaid. He was talking at a Trump rally, and we need a president of law and order. He's saying this at a Trump rally, and people are cheering. And I thought, wait a second, who's the felon here?
Right. I'll never watch his movies again.
I do see big changes coming up as far as running for president. And by the way, he's not going to turn in his medical records. Can you believe that? Oh my.
Shocker.
Kamala turned hers in.
Shocker, right? I do see, like if I see legislation coming, for example, if someone is currently charged with and convicted of felony counts, and if they haven't been sentenced yet, even if they've been sentenced and that's active, then they cannot run. Um, there's going to be a lot of guidelines coming and laws coming to prevent a rogue president like Trump from ever happening again. What I can't believe is that people still drink his Kool-Aid. It's like ridiculous.
I know.
Those of us with any intelligence realizes that the lies and the he
And
just
I'm
wants.
sorry, all you people that watch us, because all this stuff they're talking about, how he's going to do this and he has these people in place and they're going to try to turn things over. And by the way, the Supreme Court won't be on their side. You'll be surprised.
Oh, I know.
Maybe the guy that's getting ready to go, what's his name? Thomas will, but I see it's so egregious they cannot. They can't.
Well, Trump has got all the D's: deceive, divert, detract, distract, divide, destroy, duplicitousness, if there is such word. Um, but I see legislation coming that, like I said, if they have if they've been convicted of felonies, they can't run. There's going to be a lot of legislation coming to attempt to prevent this from happening again.
I also see them making him turn in their medical reports and their did he turn in his IRS statements? I bet he didn't.
Nope. He's not going to, because he's afraid that he'll incriminate himself and that he's not as rich as he says he is.
He never was. So what's
Right.
your question, sweetie?
Okay. Um, oh, this is the good one. Nine Pennant says, will Trump and J.D. Vance deport their respective wives back to their country? The answer to that is no.
No, I heard the
Because
same thing.
Melania is a citizen here. And in order to get deported, you have to revoke their citizenship, and that's a hard thing to do. And they have to create some humongous
Oh,
felony.
Trump's saying he's going to get rid of people who are citizens here.
Good luck with that. In
Never
that
going to have
case,
the chance to build those camps.
right. And JD Vance, his wife is not going to get deported back to where she's originally from.
She said a rude statement about Kamala. She said this really rude. I can't remember what it was. You know, she this and she that. And somebody said, I can see why your husband enjoys a couch better.
I love it.
Okay. Will Kamala put, and this is from Mary, will Kamala put into effect no property taxes for 65 and older? Joe Biden was going to pass this. Does she have the same policies that Joe had?
What I do see ultimately for people 65 and older is that if they're under a certain income bracket, they don't have to pay income tax. And they're not going to tax our Social Security, yay, which they shouldn't. And I see that what they're going to do is for people over a certain age, 65, will still pay some property tax, but it'll be significantly reduced.
Okay. Yeah, because it's so
Significantly.
hard for people just to make their mortgage payments.
And I see another thing what the insurance companies are doing with hurricane insurance. They're making it so costly, people can't afford it. And some places like St. Croix, $36,000 a year for hurricane insurance. It's ridiculous. And I see the government putting a cap on how much that the insurance companies can charge for hurricane insurance, and that they
Well, they
can't.
can't do that because the hurricane companies then just don't do business in that state.
Well,
But
that's
if enough states put the kibosh on them, then where are they going to make their money? But I do see it's just like here. I see the federal government doing their own insurance, like for
that,
earthquake. I pay
that's what I see.
$2,000 a year plus my 2,000 of regular insurance for earthquake because they don't cover ever since we had an earthquake day. Anyway,
I
and
was going to say I see some federal insurance coming.
federal. And then also, I checked into flood insurance a couple of years back. I still may do it, but that's another $2,000. So
Exactly.
$6,000 for flood, earthquake, and regular insurance. Oh, we were talking about this early. Water Lily asked about the Coachella, the event where they dropped all those people off and then they were stuck pitch black, ice cold. I think they didn't pay the buses. I think the buses were going back and forth. They had to pay for the gas to refill. I don't think they got money from the Trump people. And that's why they just said, well, we're done.
Well, that's exactly. And then once they figured out what was going on, they're like, we're not transporting people and stopping and dropping them off in the middle of the night where it's freezing in short pants. They tried that here at O'Hare. There was a plane load that came in from Texas, and it was a charter plane, but they didn't say what was on it. And when the people got to O'Hare, the two people that were on the plane overseeing the people on the plane took off running. It was from Abbott. And then they dumped all of these immigrants, these poor people off at O'Hare. And so I had said the city of Chicago and the FAA and all of that would put things in place to keep that from happening again. And
They did?
they certainly did. Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow. The pilots ran?
no, the pilots didn't. There were a
Oh,
couple, two or three people that the state of Texas had put on board the plane to make sure that the people, got to their wherever they were sending them to. And when the plane landed at O'Hare, those three or four people got off the airplane and took off.
oh my God. Listen, I looked at, was it yesterday or the day before? I looked at DeSatan. He's in trouble, by the way. He's in trouble about monies he received for help for his state that he didn't disperse. And he's also in trouble for dropping off people like at Martha's Vineyard and stuff.
That's right.
But they will make that so you can't do that anymore.
That's exactly right. I see legislation coming to stop that as well.
Yeah. Okay, your turn.
Okay. Hello, Mel and Linda. Thank you for all of the questions you answer, giving us some peace. Will Beto run for any office in November? Such a nice man. It's a shame Abbott uh, cheated him out of winning the election in Texas. God bless him.
He won. I'm telling you, he won.
I think so too. Um, I've always seen Beto like in a high level government position, an appointed one.
That's what I'm
Um,
getting to.
I still think he's going to run for office again. I don't know if he'll do it in November, but I still see him running for
Well, after
office.
they clean up Texas, he'll be able to win. But also, Abrams was cheated, and
Oh
I
yeah,
see her in the administration.
right.
Kamala's already got a list going right now. I can see her list of people she
Mm.
wants in certain positions.
Oh, she does. Right. She has a list.
And I think Buttigieg is she's going to give him another besides transportation. It seems like he might be Secretary of State or something.
I was just going to say he'd be an excellent Secretary of State. So anyway, um, all right. And then I guess there was somebody else under the reply for this question asked, will there ever be peace in the Middle East? And if not, must the U.S. get involved? It's going to be a while before there's peace in the Middle East. I see
But
the
this Netanyahu's going cray cray, my friend.
he is. I see
He's
that
stepping
as
over the line. They said he's saying, get your peacekeepers out of the way, and Ireland's refusing. So he's did some sort of bomb that actually hurt some people. They're gonna hit him hard, Netanyahu.
he wants it to escalate a little bit, but he's not going to succeed in what he's trying to do. Um, Netanyahu wants this war to go on because it takes attention away from him, um, the crap he pulled. But I don't know. I'm thinking it might take about 8, 9, 10 months for it to finally subside.
Yeah, yeah. This guy, but I see Netanyahu being taken down.
So
Maybe
do
not
I.
necessarily killed, because I saw cloth over his face. He might be kidnapped or something, but something's coming up.
So I feel the same thing. Okay, your
So,
turn.
greetings, Linda and Mel. This is from Rosemary. At a DOJ press announcement I stumbled across on YouTube on September 27th, 2024, Garland touted the success of Operation North Star to take down leaders of crime cartels across the country. This is a huge part of why violent crime is down. Why is this not praised even by places like Midas Touch?
I think a lot of it depends on how much attention the media pays to certain
They're not
events,
paying attention to it.
but they will.
Well, listen, pretty soon a lot of stuff is going to come out because
Because,
they're so busy acting like, oh, it's a tight race and what this is what's going to happen when Trump is president. No, it's not going to happen.
every time the MAGAs uh, predict a blue tsunami, I mean, I'm sorry, a red tsunami, it ends up being a pink trickle. And my feeling is that all of those smaller local elections where the Dems won. Um, when the Republicans were saying it's going to be, the red tsunami, the red wave, didn't happen. And so my feeling is there's going to be a lot is I think we're going to have a Democratic kind of tsunami next month. I really do.
I do too. I feel like a lot of things for the abortion are all going to go through. This is amazing how these idiots don't see the forest for the trees. They
Right.
they just really think that men will rule and they're not.
Well, because people like Trump play on people's fear. They're taking over. Look at what they're doing. They're taking your jobs. They're doing this. It's the same rhetoric that Hitler used, the same rhetoric that, dictators use, that Putin used. And it can be effective, but sooner or later, then people, after they've drunk the Kool-Aid, they think, wait a minute,
My
this is
life is a little
this.
better.
Right. And so uh, I'm just amazed that Trump is their nominee.
Right. And he
Um,
just hangs in there like you can't get rid of him. It
like a
seems like
fly
we've
on
been
fly
listening to
paper,
him for
you know?
forever, and he still won't say, even though he knows that this wasn't rigged, he still wants to act like, it was rigged.
And well, he'll always contend that.
Yeah. Even though he knows it's not the truth, because people have said he told them. I am just embarrassed I lost to Biden.
Well, because he can't stand to lose.
Right. Okay, your turn.
Dakota Kelp, hi Dakota. Um, Good day, lovely Linda and marvelous Mel. Thank you for all you do. Well, thank you for
Thank
supporting
you.
us.
Thank you for
Question.
listening.
Will we see surprise seat flips from Republican to Democrat in the House and the Senate? I say yes, absolutely.
I think Cruz is going to lose.
Right. I think we'll take back the Senate. I mean, I'm sorry, we'll take back the House and have the Senate. So Speaker will be out.
He will be out. And little do they, it's almost like they're idiots. Don't they know by not helping the people with their constituents that they're not going to vote for them? Where were you when we were suffering? Where's the money that you're in office for?
True. They manufacture stuff like the crisis at the border. A lot of people are saying there is no crisis at the border. It's just Trump. Like the whole rhetoric about, FEMA and Hurricane Helene. You know what? That's all BS. Trump just told lies. And the
Yeah,
good thing is all the media and everybody else called him on it.
right.
So,
There's a Trump commercial going around showing about four illegal immigrants that attacked young girls. Okay, four of them. I could show you 60 to 80 pictures right now that seems like every week some white cop, pastor, somebody arrested on charges of child molestation.
my response to what he's saying about immigrants doing this is what about the MAGAs on January the 6th that assaulted police officers, that did neurological damage to police officers, that broke in the Capitol and wanted to overthrow the government and did all that damage, and those were American citizens. So
Yeah,
rather than talk about maybe two or three immigrants that are bad seeds, most of them aren't. I mean, we all came from immigrants, at least I did. The
yeah.
bottom line is, why don't you talk about the MAGAs, the Trump people that he incited to insurrection and all the harm that they've done to
But
everybody?
they're good people.
Well, yeah,
They
okay.
were peaceful while they took their defecation and smeared it on the walls of the Capitol.
Well, if that's peaceful, I'm a rocket scientist.
So whose turn is it now?
I think mine.
Okay.
No, no, that was mine. It's your turn. I'm sorry.
Okay. Will Vidman win Virginia?
Well, who?
Eugene Vidman. That guy that testified against Trump. He
Oh,
he got him out of the military or something. He talked about Trump trying to pull fast ones with Ukraine and he refused to do it.
is he,
Vidman.
is he a Democrat or Republican?
I'm sure he's a Democrat, or he used to be a Republican. Now he's a Vidman. He's running for Vidman. Okay, hold on. He's running for it won't show me. I really like him. Do you recognize that face?
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Um, I see him walking away smiling. What do you see?
He's running for Congress in Virginia.
My feeling is I see the Dems taking back over the House
Me too. Big
and
time.
keeping the Senate. So I could
Yeah,
be wrong, but I'm going to
they're
say
handing
yes.
it to him. He's going to win.
Yep, I felt yes.
He's going to win. Hell,
Good,
yeah. Oh, yeah. Celebration. Oh, he's going to be so happy. And he'll take his job seriously.
good.
He's sitting on the horse of success. Knight of Cups is the outcome. Yep, absolutely guaranteed.
Okay.
Alexander, not Eugene, it's Alexander Vidman. Okay, your turn, my friend.
Okay. Dakota Celt says, will Democrat Katrina Christensen defeat incumbent Kevin Kramer for North Dakota's U.S. Senate seat?
Well, what?
Uh, will Democrat Katrina Christensen defeat incumbent Kevin Kramer for North Dakota's U.S. Senate seat? I think North Dakota's gonna stay Republican. That's what
That's
I
what I'm
think.
feeling too. I wish I could tell you I see her winning. I see Tester getting by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Now, if
I
you
think
want close, that's going to be a close one.
I think it'll be close. Yeah.
But it's mostly because that guy doesn't even live in Minnesota. I mean, Montana, the one that's running against him.
Right.
Okay. Wow. Blake said, do you see Kamala break past 300 in the electoral college vote? Biden received 306 in 2020. I didn't know Biden received that much.
Well, I do see her getting more than the amount that it takes to be president.
Oh,
So, somebody asked one of my clients, and I've been asked this a couple times actually, and she brought up a really good point. She lives in Atlanta. She's a client of mine, and she's an avid fan of our show. Um, she said, "Okay, yes, I see Kamala winning." But do you see her in the White House? Because what she's nervous about would be if the Supreme Court overturns the election, like they did with Gore. Gore won that election.
oh, he sure
They
did.
but they put George W. Bush in there. So and that's a legitimate question.
But
So
look at what the reason that we even put it to the Supreme Court. That was legit. It was like this, okay?
right,
And then they said they had to redo it, and which they did. This is not anything like that, what's coming up. This has got nothing to do like that. It's not something the Supreme Court should dig their heels in.
well, if he takes the election results of the Supreme Court, I doubt if they'll even hear it.
I just see, just like the 63 times he tried to say this 2020 was rigged.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay.
Okay, your
Is
turn.
it your turn or mine? I don't. Oh,
Yours.
okay. Maggie says, hello, Mel and Linda. Eric Prince, Betsy DeVos's brother, has been missing in action since Biden took office. Some say he acts as a go-between for Putin and Trump. Is this true? And if so, will he meet with justice? Thank you.
I
I don't
hear
think
yes,
you think he's a go-between between
but I
Putin and
feel him being taken out.
I see him being indicted and I see him in jail and uh, I see him in deep trouble.
I feel like him being taken out, but that doesn't mean assassinated. That means just maybe grabbing him, like you said, putting him in jail.
Right, that's what I see.
Uh, okay, Judge Marchand sentenced Trump to jail in November. Janice, she's asking, will he sentence him to jail in November? And it's after the election is this hearing. So, which is good because it gives Marchand more of an ability to say, yeah, sucker. I feel like he's going to get some confinement stuff going on here.
I see him sentenced, yes.
Yeah.
And if Trump wins, he'll try to pardon himself, but I don't think he can from New York. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah. The other thing is, I know Trump's not going to win, but let's say just faking it as best as we can. If he won, he's not going to have the Senate or Congress.
Right. He's not.
Okay, your question next.
Laura Wright says, will the Menendez brothers ever be free? Any chance Biden will commute their sentence or pardon them on his way out of office?
No.
I don't think so. Mm-mm. I don't feel that.
Here's Christine. Will anything happen criminally to Tucker Carlson and Sean Hannity?
No.
Okay. I do see though some sort of lawsuit taking place that Sean Hannity has
That
to testify to. This is
that is
another one against Fox News.
there's going to be a huge more lawsuits against Fox News with Hannity involved, and they'll have to pay out. Also, Tucker Carlson, I see getting sued big time from a lot of people, and so and they'll win. So I think Tucker Carlson's pretty much done.
Okay.
Okay, it's your turn.
Is it my turn? I
Yep.
thought I just asked about Hannity.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did. I'm sorry. Okay. Recently, a judge in North Dakota blocked the abortion ban law. Will the North Dakota Supreme Court also block the implementation of the ban? So a judge in North Dakota blocked the abortion. There was an abortion ban in North Dakota, so a judge blocked it. So Dakota Count wants to know, will the North Dakota Supreme Court block the implement? In other words, will they
I think the Supreme Court wants the ban.
they do.
And
Yes.
I feel like all this will be thrown to the wind because when Kamala's in place, she's going to pass the Roe versus Wade again. So it's taken out of the state's hands.
Okay, your turn.
Um, will there be more damaging information? This is from Stay. More damaging information released by Judge Chutkan before the election.
I see more damaging stuff coming out, yes.
You do?
And more damaging stuff coming about the whole FBI thing and Kavanaugh and that whole scandal.
Oh, I do see come up some major stuff. Remember, I told you this whole group there, the Supreme Court, and all that story about Justice Roberts is all upset because of his immunity to see. He's not upset about anything. These people walk around like they're king for a day. They think they're, you know what, don't stink.
You got that right.
And
And
they like, whatever, they'll get over it. But let me tell you, they got something coming. That Shelton White House has got a list. And I see Jenny Thomas in trouble. I see Justice Thomas also in trouble. And I've said before, my guy said years ago that don't worry about Kavanaugh because he's sitting there with his robe and they put their hand in and escort him out.
right. I see accountability coming for those justices that were teetering on operating in or inside of the law,
Yeah. So
All
do
right.
you have any? It looks like we've met. I see you went from the bottom of the list and I went from the top. So is there anything else you see that we didn't hit on?
Well, okay, there's one more, and then will conservatives vote for Kamala but vote for Democrats down ballot? I see a lot of Republicans voting for Kamala.
And I see them wanting because of the Roe versus Wade. I'm telling you, that was a sleeping giant. I see women saying, no, I want a blue Congress, a blue Senate to get rid of this riffraff. And we
I
don't
agree.
want to have to deal with Trump ever again.
I agree with that. After this, finally, he's done. Thank God.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna pay attention to him. It's got like, years ago, I told you guys, it's gonna be like McCarthyism. One day the guy was hot and next day he was nothing. I almost feel like nobody cares to hear anything he has to say.
That's exactly how I see it. That's a good analogy, just exactly what happened to McCarthy. And I'd said that too. So
Yeah.
here we are. All right, sweetie. I won't be on your you won't be on my show next week because I'll be in Europe.
Yep. You can do it from Europe though, right?
Yeah, well, I can try, but there's
Yeah.
such a big time difference. But anyway,
All
well, I
right,
can't do
guys.
Monday 'cause I'll be flying.
Thank you, you guys. Don't forget your mask.
All righty.
Oh, the guys who just came to pick up my boxes in my garage, they told me that they're going to start mandating masks again out here. I didn't see anything on it.
Wow.
Maybe back at the hospitals or something. I don't know, but
Okay.
it's gone up. COVID is up. So
It's up. Yep.
all
I'm
right,
gonna on the plane. All right. I'll talk to you
I
next.
see
I'll
her.
talk to you when I get
You
back.
take